there's not that mutual respect. And in a lot of 3D families, matrix families, systems, there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of cultural dogma, which doesn't make it true. Just because you were born in India, and in India, they believe family matters most. And just an example. And if you don't honor your parents in a certain way for the rest of your life, that is a disgrace to the family. Actually, it's not. That's a delusion. It's not cosmologically true. It's not an objective fact. It's just a personal preference. But it's been reinforced for so long. Still doesn't make it true. Doesn't make it true respect. So you have to teach your family, anyone you relate to, you have to teach them how to respect you. Because if you don't, they won't. They'll just paste their preferences onto you. They'll just paste their expectations onto you. They'll just treat you like an object to appease their own suffering, which is not love. It is not respect, no matter how you justify it by calling it family matters, or it doesn't matter. It still doesn't change the fact that law cannot be changed. Yeah. Law of respect is each entity is their own free being, and their free will should be absolutely honored. If you cross that line, if you start expecting, you're in breach of respect, not them. Yeah. We can't teach our friends and family how to respect us if we don't. If we don't show them the consequences of not respecting us in the way that we value being respected, then they don't have to, because the same way goes from you to them. They don't have to respect you. Yeah. That would be you disrespecting them. They can absolutely not respect you. But at some point, you got to show them the consequences of treating you in that way. Otherwise, you're not owning your self-respect. You're not developing this no-nonsense, truthful policy of authenticity. And then people don't know how to respect you. And once you do, and they adjust to it, then you can open back up your borders, if you will. You can open back up. Because then it's no longer a toxic relationship. It's no longer a toxic energy filament that's connected to you. So it's very important that we teach others how to respect us by knowing what respect means, recognizing it in ourselves, and also giving it to them. Yeah. Feel free to choose this if you want, right? But I'm not having it. This is not going to lead to your desired result of me coming to visit. And I'm going to demonstrate that by I'm not going to demonstrate that by not visiting. In fact, if you keep this up after 2, 3, 4 clear communications, and you're not owning your side of, you're not even acknowledging how you're crossing this boundary, then I'm sorry, but I'm not going to interact with you anymore. And that then is the message. Then they have an opportunity to learn, because you're demonstrating in loving ways. You're not, you're not hiring an assassin. Because you respect their free will to not respect you. But you got to respect yourself and then no longer interact with them. If they don't listen, if they're not open for true communication. They don't show progress in their respect for you. Genuine progress, not just like fake progress. And you kind of had an example of that, right?
Yeah, I have a friend who's trying to sort of lure his daughter to spend more time with him by practicing non-attachment. But he'll learn just enough about non-attachment to get her to be sort of like drawn in. And then he gets kind of attached to it. So then he just wants more, call me again. Why didn't we talk last night, and come visit me tomorrow? And then she backs off.
Yeah, so that's a sweet attempt, but it's still disingenuous at the core, right? Because it is still about self. It's not about respecting the other, right? And I know the person you speak of, and I think he is amazing.
And he'll get there.
Yeah,
I really trust he'll get there.
Yeah, no, and I know he's a very sincere guy. But in this example, it is fundamentally, mechanically, an insincere attempt at sincerity.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of people do that out of ignorance or out of innocence, or just because we have become victimized by our own sort of lack of mental, emotional mastery and self-fulfillment. And understand, because we create these situations for ourselves of loneliness or abandonment, and we naturally crave company. We naturally crave love and affection and family. So I'm not saying we should disband family, but we should learn respect. And then the family unit should be oriented around that respect. Respect shouldn't be oriented around the attachment to the family unit. It's the wrong way around. It's a toxic system. And then especially the younger generation, more and more you see they want to break free from that. They no longer fit in that mold. And maybe that's been the case for previous generations as well, but I don't think as much.
Yeah, more than ever now.
Yeah, with the whole, like, all the opportunities that are available right now with the internet and travel and all that.
And then people not recreating that same structure for themselves. Like young people now are not getting married the same and having kids the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is seen as, or that's, some people attempt to then label that as disrespect.
Right.
But it's actually not. By law, it's not disrespectful. Because the law says respect means to honor another's free will. There's no deviation on this possible. Then it becomes preference and bias. It no longer is law. It no longer is truth. It is now personal projection, personal vomit, personal attachment. And it is therefore disrespect, even if we call it respectful and we justify it with tradition, or we justify it with dogma, or we justify it with stigma, or whatever we use to justify it with. Or we justify it with emotionally begging or manipulating in different ways. I understand, but it still violates the law of respect. So it should just be clearly communicated, and we should teach each other. Because ultimately, if we don't teach our parents and we don't teach our family and we don't teach our friends what respect is, how to respect us, they also will never respect themselves.